I never thought it would happen to me, but the moment my little girl called me uncle, I knew something was terribly wrong. I thought I was just being paranoid, until one night I decided to follow my wife, and what I uncovered changed everything. It's funny how much we take for granted, like your morning routine. You wake up, grab a cup of coffee, rush through breakfast, and head out to work, thinking everything's fine. The sun barely peeks over the horizon in Los Angeles as I sip my black coffee, the scent of it sharp against the cool air. I toss a quick glance at the clock, 7:30 a.m. My daughter, Maya, is sitting at the kitchen table, munching on cereal. Her small fingers stained from the strawberries she loves so much. Her giggle is like a song I never want to forget. But there's this tension that's been growing between Sarah, my wife, and me. It's subtle, like a crack in the pavement you can't quite see, but you know it's there. The late nights at work, the way she gets distracted when I talk, and how she avoids my gaze. Still, I brush it off. Life is busy, right? I tell myself, everything's fine, Jax, you're just tired. But, of course, I couldn't have been more wrong. I was sitting in my office one afternoon, buried in paperwork, when the phone rang. It was Sarah, her voice trembling on the other end. I need to talk to you, Jax, she said, her voice breaking. At first, I thought it was something to do with Maya. Maybe she'd hurt herself at school or needed me to pick her up, but then I heard it. Matt, her coworker, that name kept coming up lately. Too often, he'd been in and out of our house for work meetings, but recently, his presence had become uncomfortable. But I didn't expect the bombshell she dropped on me next. I think we need space, Sarah continued, her words slicing through the air. I've been seeing someone else. It felt like the room spun. Matt? The guy I had invited to our dinner parties? The one I thought was just a friend? The betrayal was so raw, it hit like a slap to the face. I wasn't just angry, I was shattered. Jax, please, I didn't mean for it to happen, but it's been going on for months. Her voice trailed off, and I couldn't even respond. Instead, I ended the call. I had to get out of there, away from the overwhelming pain, the confusion, but as I grabbed my coat, I realized, I had to confront this. I wasn't just going to let her rip my world apart, not without answers, and not without making sure she knew what she had done. That night, I decided to follow Sarah. I didn't know what I was hoping to find. Maybe some twisted part of me was hoping to catch her red-handed. I followed her car at a distance, the streetlights casting long shadows as we drove through the city. She pulled into a high-end restaurant downtown, a place we used to go for special occasions. I parked a few blocks away, my hands trembling, and then, as I watched through the foggy glass of my car window, I saw Matt. He was already there, standing by the door, waiting for her. Then they hugged, and not just a friendly hug, a long, intimate embrace. My stomach twisted into knots, but it wasn't until they kissed that I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. I felt sick, not just with anger, but with a sense of humiliation I couldn't escape. My wife, kissing someone else, and that someone was a man I had trusted, even called a friend. My heart was racing, but I didn't cry, I didn't scream. I just sat there in my car, the engine idling, watching the life I thought I had slowly crumble into something unrecognizable. I didn't confront them right then. No, I wasn't that reckless. Instead, I gathered everything I needed. I knew I couldn't let this slide. I wasn't about to sit back and be a victim. The next few days, I watched, I gathered information, quietly. I used my connections at work to find out everything about Matt, his vulnerabilities, his pride. I wanted to expose him, but I wanted to do it in a way that would hurt him the most, publicly. I arranged a corporate dinner, a gala I knew Sarah and Matt would both be attending, the perfect setup. It wasn't just revenge, it was reclaiming my dignity. I was done being the man who silently accepted betrayal. The night of the event, everything was set. I made sure to send Matt a few cryptic texts, little hints that I knew what he'd done. His panic was palpable as I watched him reply, his hands shaking as he typed, "Jax, what do you know? What do you want from me?" I didn't respond, not immediately. At the event, Matt was visibly on edge, constantly checking his phone. Meanwhile, Sarah was still acting like everything was fine, but I saw the guilt in her eyes. She couldn't look me in the eye anymore. The anticipation was thick. I was in control, and I wasn't going to give up that power now. The moment finally came. I stepped up to the podium, all eyes on me. The room fell silent. With a slow, deliberate motion, I pulled out my phone and displayed everything: text messages, photos, recordings, everything I had uncovered about Sarah and Matt's affair. The entire room gasped, and Matt's face turned white as a sheet. "You think you can lie to me, to everyone in here?" I asked calmly. "Well, you're not the only one with secrets, Matt." Sarah's face flushed with shame as she turned to him, unable to deny it anymore. The crowd's reaction was a mix of shock and disgust. Matt tried to speak, but the words stuck in his throat. It was a public humiliation he wouldn't recover from. After that night, Matt's career was destroyed, his name was tarnished, and the trust he had built with colleagues evaporated. Sarah, despite her apologies, couldn't undo the damage. She tried, but it was too late. I didn't feel joy watching them fall, though. I didn't gloat. Instead, I felt a quiet peace. I had done what I needed to do, not out of anger, but because I refused to let someone else dictate my worth. Now, things are different. Maya and I are doing well. I spend my mornings enjoying the peace that comes with knowing the truth, sipping coffee without the weight of betrayal looming over me. Sometimes, the hardest thing is realizing when to walk away, but when you do, you reclaim everything they tried to take from you. What about you? Have you ever been betrayed like that? How did you handle it? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, you don't have to face this alone. Subscribe for more real stories like this, stories of struggle, heartbreak, and triumph. Stay strong, and keep fighting for what's yours.